Thank you so much. Okay, so we are talking about the village, but let's be real. There's conflict in the village. Everybody in the village, they don't like each other, right? And my mother always told me, you're not here for everyone to like you. Do you like yourself? But realistically, we need to be able to get along with one another. So I'm going to talk about how we can approach conflict like eating a piece of hard candy. And I learned that because of my love for sweets, as you can witness, because I'm a heavy-duty cutie, and my hatred for negative encounters. So if anybody tells you that it's as easy as taking a piece of candy from a baby, you need to give them the side eye. Because have you ever tried taking candy from a baby? They get Herculean strength just all of a sudden. So hard candy has the same sort of characteristics as a conflict. The consistency is hard. The conflict is often difficult, right? And so you have opportunities to approach it in a very interesting way. You can bite down on it. And so in biting down on it, that translates to direct confrontation, which usually causes some type of damage to the relationship. However, there's some positiveness to biting down on a piece of candy. Other than, it's not so positive about maybe chipping a tooth. However, if you sort of ease into it like you ease into a conflict, try to find out exactly, well, what is the root of the problem? So when you're biting down on your piece of candy, just like when you're biting down or you're contemplating, well, what really happened? Because it's really not about that spilled milk or that spilled water. It's about the buildup that happened beforehand. I challenge you not to approach the conflict head on in the moment. In that moment when your sister is telling you, everything that you did from the point, from the time you borrowed her shoes 25 years ago. Really? We're still on that? All right. So really don't approach the conflict in the heat and intensity of that moment. It's like swallowing a piece of hard candy. What happens when you swallow a piece of hard candy? You'll choke, right? Which causes the type of damage to a relationship that's oftentimes very difficult to come back from. You say things that you don't mean. You do things that you don't mean. As a matter of fact, I'm very dramatic. So but for some reason, when I'm in the midst of a conflict and I allow myself, because it is about allowance, right? I allow myself to go there. I never use the words, the Schimpfworte. I'm a German teacher, so I might slip into German too. So those are curse words. But in everyday conversation, you might hear me, drop a couple of bombs, not the F-bomb though. But for some reason, when I'm in the intensity of the moment, I don't use those words. I use my vocabulary, but it's like I'm using MF. When I look at you and I say, I know you didn't just say that to me. I know you're not coming for me because I didn't ask for you. Yeah, y'all already know I got it in me. And you can also suck on it. You can suck it up. In other words, you get an opportunity to carefully and rationally internalize in the moment. You can do this because you have control over your brain. So you can actually try to rationally think about, well, what is actually real right now? What is really important right now? Is the relationship more important than me reacting in this moment? And believe me, it feels good when you get that like comeback and you're just like, woo, that felt good. But now it's going to take you years to rebuild that relationship. And is it worth it? Value the relationship over winning. So maybe you need to redefine what winning is. Me in my life, although black doesn't crack, so don't even try to, guess my age. But in my life, in my years, I have learned that winning is about having people within your village who come to your aid when you're not even speaking and calling out. It's a silent clarion call. It's tacit. They know you're hurting from the way your eyes no longer light up when you walk into a room, right? That's winning, when they come for you in a good way this time. So I would say one of the best strategies, and I learned this from eating hard candy, right? Loving sweets a little too much, but it's okay. As long as you know what and why you are approaching your conflict with and about. Understand what is really more important, just opposed to what you're going to do about it. So I suggest, and my big idea, beyond the fact that I think it's brilliant, hard candy, but I might be the only one here that thinks that. With the silence, I would say so. So before eating or sucking the piece of candy or doing anything, look at what actually really is real. What is the conflict? What is really going on? And then ask yourself, what is more important? Is it the relationship or is it winning? Then redefine what winning really is. I'm McKenya Dilworth, and I'm from the great city of Gary, Indiana, where all good and positive come from.